My favorite thing about Saturday mornings is that we're not in a huge rush to finish our chores because we don't have to get to our pesky jobs. But Saturdays have always been the day that help us remember why doing all of this was supposed to be fun in the first place. So let's do our Saturday chores together, shall we? Part of our efforts to shrink things on the farm involved rehoming our chicken flock to our 4-year-old neighbor Maymay. But Maymay was rightfully afraid of our guard Goose, so she stayed here. Patrolling the whole farm like a prison guard at Alcatraz, this little jerk right here spends every waking hour walking up and down the driveway, making sure that everyone is where they're supposed to be and doing what they're supposed to be doing. The results are quite amusing. Whenever you have animals, there's always a hierarchy of power, a pecking order, if you will.
Oh my gosh,
And for some reason, once the chickens were gone, Mother Goose over here somehow rose to the very top of the pecking order. She seems to particularly enjoy keeping Lucy the mini pig inside her pig house, generally tormenting the alpacas. And believe it or not, she has even dethroned King Johnny, the livestock guardian dog, who should, in every regard, be the boss of the farm. But apparently, nope, this little Goose is. So we feed Mother Goose first in hopes that she doesn't interfere with all the rest of the feeding operations. But let's be honest, she's probably still gonna interfere. All right, you little alpacas. Here you go, buddies. Here you go, buddies. I would love for you to come and enjoy George's stellar dental work that has happened. Notice that you can barely see his toofs that used to protrude like a soldier standing guard. And now he's just got his little finger lips enclosing some perfect Dremel tool dental work. And it's almost time for their summer haircuts. Boy howdy, are these little llama pops gonna look even more ridiculous than they do right now. One of the big changes we made on the farm was hiring some part-time help with the dairy for the cows so that I didn't have to be milking cows every day, because that's a lot more physical than milking the goats. And in that, sometimes we get milk that the customers didn't come pick up or whatever in a really fancy format. And so when that happens, Lucy gets a really, really special treat with her morning breakfast. And she doesn't seem to mind that one bit. Lucy, how do you feel about the raw milk debate? Fascinating stuff. Back to you, Adam. You want to see something funny? Oh, here they come. Howdy, Bella! Come on, buddy! Come on, Howdy! Well, this is an interesting development. Well, did you want to take part in this song or what, buddies? Are you singing? Oh! You're such a good boy, howdy. Now we have a new way to make sure we can always find the donkeys wherever they are on the farm. What a delight. Okay, little dummies, come on over here. So donkey hooves are like giant toenails that never stop growing. Give me your nose. Good boy. This is something we have to do every month. And they have to be regularly clipped, ironically, for the same reason that these guys are always on a diet. Because if these donkeys were out living in their natural, native, wild habitat, They would be walking for miles and miles and miles every day on sandy, rocky terrain to find whatever few calories they can. And as they're doing that, the hooves will wear naturally, and that's what we're artificially doing here, because our files and our sandpaper act exactly like, you guessed it, sand. But we have to be really, really careful about exactly how we do it, because one wrong move and we could mess up their foot for life, making them lame so they couldn't walk. So it's a little bit of a scary task, and I had to study a long time to actually get good at it, but I'm pretty confident about it now. Good job, Bubby. Future Ann here, popping in to tell you that if it looks like this video was shot a long time ago, it's because it was. We were preparing for what is now, excuse me, Bella, what is now very clearly, well, probably not because Bella's blocking it, but very imminent, which is the birth of our son. So we filmed ahead. But while I'm here, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. I have talked a lot on this channel about the importance of removing the stigma of asking for help when you need it, and that is why I'm so proud to partner with BetterHelp, because they make getting access to the help that you need when you're struggling so dang easy. I've been using BetterHelp for almost 5 years, when all of a sudden all the things we used to do in person had to be done over the computer, and honestly I don't know if I'll ever go back to doing it in person, because this is my favorite place on earth, and I get to do therapy from the comfort of the farm, and I love that. Not to mention, I absolutely love the therapist that I was matched with through BetterHelp. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey on your phone or your computer, and you get matched with the therapist. If you don't jive super well with the first therapist you get paired with, you can very easily switch. They also make it super easy to reschedule appointments. There is free group therapy sessions to fill in the gaps between your appointments if you just need an extra listening ear. You never have to worry about navigating co-pays or insurance or doctor availability or even what the parking situation at the doctor's office is like, because you can do all of that from within their website. And if you use the code AnnofAllTrades, you'll get 10% off of your first month of therapy. If you're struggling with something and you think that talking to someone about it will help, check out BetterHelp. We've always been step counters around here, but now more than ever, because I'm trying to ease my load in every way possible. But believe it or not, considering my outfit now, it actually froze last night, and one of the biggest helpers around the farm in that regard are these frost-free faucets. So as I fill this up, let's save some steps and go feed the dogs. Much like Lucy, our livestock guardian dogs, Johnny and June, also very much appreciate when there's leftover milk from the dairy, because I imagine it helps their hard brown rocks taste a whole lot better. Hey Johnny! Hey June! Come on buddies! Come on! Come on, come on, come on, come on! Johnny! Junie! Come on buddies! So this is called a jump gate. I put these in all over the farm a couple months ago. Come on, June! And they have changed everything on the farm for the better. Using these has allowed Johnny and June to come and go from every space they're supposed to guard without any intervention from us. I don't actually understand what it is about the shape of these gates, but it somehow keeps every other animal out, which is so dang cool. In case you've not met him before, this is Rigby. This is Adam's inside dog that hangs out with Farmer Adam, the inside boy. And the reason that Rigby spends so much time inside is very easily shown by simply spending 2 to 3 minutes with him. So please, let's do that. And he is also the world's loudest mouth breather, which is how he actually initially got disinvited from being around me most of the time, because I cannot handle this noise. The difference in demeanor, noisiness, neediness, personality. Do you mind? Between Rigby and Johnny, the love of my life, is astonishing. This is June, who's also here, and I will actually say that if the comparison is also quite funny here. Let's compare Rigby, the inside dog, to Johnny, my emotional support livestock guardian dog, who is his opposite in every single regard. Part of the reason I love Johnny so much is he matches my personality and the level of quietness and lack of neediness that I personally enjoy. Everything with Johnny happens very slowly and intentionally. He gently reminds me that he would like some lovies, whereas Rigby just breathes really loudly and runs into me and repeatedly drops the ball at my feet, expecting me to know what to do with it. In all of his uselessness, though, Rigby has found one hilariously unlikely animal friend on the farm, and that is my house bunny, Eugene, who's the fluffiest little munchkin that's ever walked the planet, and the way they play together is so dang cute. Also, just because I feel like not enough people appreciated this clip that showed up in our last video, watching Eugene's hair blow in a windstorm is pretty much the funniest thing I've ever experienced, so enjoy. It's never easy. We can get lost in our sunk cost bias. Like, we've already put so much time and energy and resources into this endeavor. Are we in danger? I think we should go in the house. Okay, buddy. Who's first? Aretha, you know you're always first, girl. My star player, not you, not yet, not yet, not yet. This is Aretha. She's our only remaining OG goat that came over on the trailer from Washington with us with those two little jerks right there. And Aretha is the sweetest sweetheart in all the land. She's the most patient. She'll let a toddler milk her. She lets my mom milk her, which is good because it always takes mom a long time because of her arthritis, and she's so patient. When it comes to milk, cleanliness is so important. Let's get you all clean, buddy. You gotta keep your barn clean, you keep your animals clean, and then you keep your milking receptacles and your filters and everything clean. It is kind of wild because, you know, this isn't the cleanest, most sanitary place in the world, but as long as you're super careful about how you collect the milk, it stays safe and good, and this is the best thing to have on your Lucky Charms in the morning. A lot of people who've never had farm fresh goat milk think goat milk is disgusting, but this milk tastes way better than cow milk. In fact, I have 18 cows and I can still honestly tell you that that's the case. And one really cool thing as we're thinking about baby coming is that goat milk is, aside from donkey milk, which is a lot harder to collect, the closest milk to human milk. So it's a great replacement instead of formula. And, you know, if you have issues with breastfeeding or whatever, this will be like gold in a couple months. Nigerian dwarf goats live for 14 to 15 years, and Miss Aretha here is a fairly old lady in the grand scheme of things. She's almost 9 years old and still our very best milker. She's also has the best personality in our herd. And so when I have a naughty mommy raising a baby, I'll often breed them at the same time so I can swap Aretha's babies with the naughty babies so that Aretha can raise the best genetics with the best personalities. Okay, you're all done. Oh, baby, are you actually gonna behave today? She pretends like she doesn't want to be milked, but oh, look at this. Wow. On the one day it matters, she actually is good. What a dreamboat. That's a good girl, baby. Oh, look at you. So well behaved. Who tangled up your necklace here? Okay. Clean hands. So brave. This is the funniest thing about baby, is she's actually so well behaved. She has such good udder conformation. She's so good to milk, but just she's very stompy at the beginning, and she pretends like she's just so miserable, but then the minute we get started, she's like, okay, fine. By the way, this is a very important component of my very high-tech pallet milking stand. This is a stool. because some of the goats are too short to reach the little food bucket. And it also raises their little back ends up a little bit more so I can reach when I'm milking better. You'll see how it works in a second. One thing we really like about babies' teats, as opposed to Aretha's, is they're nice and big. It's a full handful. Makes it much easier to milk. Once we start milking, that oxytocin, the happy hormone, gets released, and that helps them to let down their milk and to really relax when they're getting milked. Gotta get their chaff hay. When the goats are in the barn, we make sure that they have the most balanced diet they can possibly have. And chaff hay provides, absolutely not, this isn't yard time. What are we, okay. Well, that's happening. Okay, excuse me. It's almost fly season, but we've got a secret weapon here. Would you believe that Redmond Minerals garlic salt has garlic in it? And if we mix that with bentonite clay, it helps the cows to absorb all the minerals and nutrients in their mineral salt, but it also helps them to absorb the garlic. And guess what? Mosquitoes and flies and other bugs don't like to bite animals that taste like garlic. It's almost like that whole vampires and garlic thing was really a thing, because it kind of is. Now, gotta try not to get shocked by this. It's getting harder and harder. Whew. But I touched up against that in a rainstorm the other day and peed my pants, so, you know, there are pluses and minuses to every farm ingenuity, ingenious. Anyway, hey cows, you guys want some salt? Hey buddies! There you go, little buddy. And we can take some up to Willie and to little Tim. Whoa! Now, who would have ever thought that keeping flies away from our animals actually helps them to gain more weight? The purpose of cow tails are to swat at flies and other bugs that are bothering them. And if the cows don't have as many flies near them, they don't have to swat their tails as much, which means that they burn way less calories. And all that turns into delicious butter, better milk production, and even better steaks and hamburgers. Butter is the perfect Instagram cow because she's the snuggliest. I think this is what so many people show what it's like to have a cow, that you can just snuggle it and cuddle it and love on it all over. But it took me 18 cows to get to a snuggly one. And boy howdy, were you worth the wait, buddy. You were worth the wait, weren't you, buddy? Yeah, yeah. Oh, you little muffin. Look at this symmetry. If Donna Briggs, my mom, had her scissors and her bowl handy, she couldn't have done a better job on this if she tried. Something especially funny about Hattie's little bowl cut is that until it got perfectly straight the way that it now is, we could not for the life of us tell the difference between Hattie and Butter, my other favorite cow. And that was especially funny because Butter is actually a full year younger than Hattie, but she's just a different breed, and so her body is a lot smaller than Butter's. But here we are, perfectly coiffed and beautiful, girl. You wear it well, and you're helping me heal from a lot of my childhood trauma as a fellow bowl cut sufferer. And if you think Hattie's bowl cut is cute, you want to see the fluffiest, cutest calf that ever lived? Come over here. Look at this little butter ball right here. If you look at Maybe's beautiful, rotund little udder there that makes just pure half and half milk, you'll see why that little butterball over there is so rotund. She's very curious, but she's like a little cat. If you try to give her pets, she says, nope, nope, not until it's my idea. See you never, bye. One of my favorite things in the world is to just sit out here with the cows, because it's just so peaceful and so calm. And every once in a while, one of them will come up for a little quick snuggle. But Adam made it so that the Wi-Fi on my computer works out here, so a lot of times when I have afternoon meetings, I'll just come out here and sit by the hay feeder and just hope for a quick snuggle. Oh, here comes my favorite. You have to pretend like you don't notice that she's coming. She wants to be part of everything. She wants to know what everyone's doing. She's so curious. But the minute that you pay any attention to her, she's like, absolutely not. I don't do things on command. I am only cute when I feel like it, and never when the camera's around. The cows in different seasons are both way more work than all the other animals combined and way less work than any of the other animals. And in that, during the summer, we do rotational grazing, which means that we move the cows throughout the pasture so that they have fresh grass to eat every day, which helps them to keep the fly pressure down, helps them to fertilize the fields more evenly, helps them to increase the nutritional availability of the grass in the fields, and also keeps the cows themselves way healthier, so we don't have to have as many vet visits or anything else. But rotational grazing has always been kind of a lot of work because A, it means we're moving fences all the time to keep up with the pace at which they're actually eating the grass. But the way bigger problem, historically at least on this farm, has been getting enough water to the cows, because cows, especially in the summertime in Tennessee, are really, really, really thirsty. Did you know that a lactating cow in the heat of the summer will drink up to 50 gallons of water a day? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cows that could all potentially be lactating at the same time. And 9 times 50 is way more buckets than I feel like I can carry in a day. We solved our little farm's big water problem by digging an artesian well, which is a really special kind of well that never stops flowing. So in that, we not only get water all over the place for free for our cows, but we also have these little float valves in every tank along the whole fence line. So every time we move the cows, we stick a hose in a handy dandy little quick connect valve, and it connects to a float valve just like this that works just like your toilet does. It fills and fills and fills until the water reaches the top, and then all of that extra water gets diverted back down into the hose through the pipes, and then whatever water doesn't go into the float valve then comes right out here and goes directly to the pond. It's actually really, really cool, and if you want to see more about it, we have a whole video about that whole process. There's like links or something, so go check that one out. Hi guys, are you thirsty? Well, good news, we have some nice cold well water for you. Fancy number 4, step right up for a nice little slurp of farm fresh well water. Enjoy. One really neat thing about the clay that we put into the salt that we feed the cows is that, especially this time of the year when the hay is so moldy and old and gross, that clay helps bind any toxins, any mold, anything that wouldn't be good for the cows, and keeps them from getting sick, which is pretty dang cool. As farmers, it is so easy to get lost in the day-to-day of all of the chores and the busyness and the never-ending to-do lists. And this season has, if nothing else, forced me to slow down in every way. But most of all, to really appreciate the Saturdays when we can do things slowly intentionally grab all the snuggles that we can while we can. Good night in heaven. Enjoy the sunshine or the sunset as we would now have it. And make sure to notice and soak up all of the good stuff as it's happening all around us. Because dang it if this isn't a pretty great life.